be triggered at 750, and any new money is gonna be at the upper limit, so it's just paying a little bit more attention to the federal awards that you've received and when they were signed. Page 71, so now we'll just talk about the quick state compliance finding, then I'll go over a couple of things in the financial statements. So the one finding this year, I don't know why this is a finding this year for so many people, but it seems to be, maybe it's because everybody's in a third-year cycle. This is something that we only test every 3 years. But the cash management report, so twice a year, the treasurer is required to submit a report to the Money Management Council that outlines all of your depository accounts that you have inside the city. And it's typically, we find when there's an issue is people are either reporting what the cash balances are on the books versus the bank balance. So it has to be what the depository says, the institution says, or there's accounts that are either on there that shouldn't be, or there's some that are omitted. And in the case for Ephraim City this year, it was that there were a couple of accounts that were just omitted on one of the reports. Just kind of an oversight, they just got left off for some reason. However, once it was identified by my team, we took it to the treasurer, and then she amended the report and made sure that they were all on there. So it was actually taken care of before we issued the audit. But because we found it, then we had to give a finding. I'm not really worried about it. I don't think it's going to happen again. Like I said, I don't know why, but this is super common finding. I think we've had probably a dozen of these findings this year. And then last year, there was a couple of findings, a budget finding and then a deficit fund balance, but both of those were corrected this year. So don't worry about that. All right, so now I said I would tell you that I would kind of explain the differences that happened because of the early implementation of GASB 103. If you want to turn to page. Sorry. I'm gonna go back. I'm not gonna be able to find it. Okay, so page 17. So this is your budget schedule, budget to actual comparison schedule. This schedule is actually going to be moved to another section next year. However, what the requirement is your general fund always has to have a budget actual schedule, and then any major special revenue fund also has to have a budget schedule as well. What this shows is the original budget, the final budget, and then what used to be, you would only have the actual amounts and then your variance between your final and your actual. However, under the new standard, one of the changes was that we now have to add a column that shows the variances between your original and your amended budget at the end of the year. And if there's significant differences, then they have to be basically addressed and analyzed. For the city, that's really the biggest change that happened. Anything in the management's discussion analysis related to the budgets got moved out. So that's no longer part of the MD&A. They want the MD&A to be very specific on certain things. So they're trying to clean up what the MD&A is. So that's what I'm saying. It wasn't a really huge change. So that's why we had the city implement it this year. Okay. Any questions for me?
Council members? Any questions for Joe?
I'll hand this over to Jack Delane after the night's over.
And in the back of your packet is our communication letter. I'm not going to go, it's not really I mean, it can be a public, that's not like the public can't see it, but it's really just communication to you as a governing body. You guys want to read through that and just, if there's any questions, reach out and talk to me about it. So the audit went really well, very, very smooth. I think my team were here for 3, maybe 4 days. Steve just like always giving us the information as soon as we ask. We don't have to wait a long time, which makes me feel good as a partner that I don't have bad reports from my team that they're waiting on information. Because then I start to get worried of, okay, well, do you not have the information? Or are you trying to change the information? Are you trying to recreate the information? And so just appreciate your staff, give them a pat on the back, they do a great job. We don't ever really have concerns when we come down that we're gonna run into major issues. So just really appreciate it.
Thank you, John. It's the one thing that keeps me awake at night
Yeah,
until December 31st. It'll still keep me awake and then we'll turn it over to someone.
well, hopefully it doesn't keep you awake anymore.
Thank you, John.
And if it does, you can always read that.
Yep. Just go read the information, read that is less sleep.
Thank you very much. Do you have anything you want to add, John Knudsen?
No, just. Yes, I do. I don't know. Yeah, so it's a combined effort. It's not even just my department, it's all the department heads and all the employees that are involved with, as we know, finances in everything that we do. And so everyone is watching their expenses and checking their budget and working with me and my department on everything. So it's a group effort for sure.
Thank you, John, for all your good work. Moving on to item B under presentations, gas power plant presentation, Corey.
This is kind of weird. I'll let Brian pull up his presentation real quick. Good evening, thanks for this. I've put together, I think there's 20 some odd slides here. Most of them are pictures, so don't be afraid to stop me and ask questions. Yeah, so we can go to that next slide, Brian. So first day of construction and demolition was June 24th, 2025. This was after we had cleaned out the building. We cleaned every nook and cranny that we possibly could. So this is a start of the project right there. Next slide. This is them demoing the concrete that was in the building. I put on there a few surprises along the way. The old oil tanks from the old existing power station was still in the basement. We're able to get those out. They were on the upper right. And then there was an old culvert that ran underneath the generator pad on the bottom left right there.
It scared you, didn't it? Because it
Yeah.
had some conduit in it.
Yeah, we didn't know what it was. And so anyway, they cut into it and everything was empty. But I'd heard rumor once that there was a ditch that went down east of the substation and went through the underneath there and then come out on the north side of the building. But it's not existent anymore. They must have got water that way somehow down that alleyway, but wasn't positive on that. So anyway, so that's kind of I believe this was probably like the end of June timeframe. Next slide. It took them probably, I would say, what was it, 3 weeks to get all that concrete demoed out of there. As you can see on the bottom left, that concrete pad was almost 6 to 8 feet thick where the old generator sat. It was a 12-cylinder. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it was a big unit, but it didn't generate a lot of power at the time. It was an old diesel, but that thing was pretty thick. But yeah, that's just some pictures of, them getting all that out of there in last 4 days. And then this is mid-July, the top right, this concrete's all removed. Middle of July is when they started hauling all that. They hauled all the concrete out of the building, piled it up. I don't know if you guys seen that big pile of concrete they had back there. It was massive. So anyway, all that's hauled off. The top right is getting prepped for the radiator pad. You'll be able to see that in some slides down the way here. The next slide, right? Yeah, you can see here, they're getting everything ready to go as far as the ground grid. The upper right is the ground grid being installed. The bottom left is getting ready for conduits. That's their grade that they need to be at. The top right is that radiator pad being prepped. Bottom right is an old septic tank that we didn't know was there.
It's still got some use.
Yes, it did. It actually did. We thought about putting it somewhere, but we wasn't sure where. Maybe down the new Public Works building or something. You know.
You won't
Maybe
put it
it's
there.
out.
Anyway, that thing was so heavy, we ended up having to get a jackhammer and break it up because we couldn't even lift it. It was so heavy and thick, and they knew how to pour concrete back in the day, so.
Well, next time, maybe so.
Yeah, next time, you bet. So yeah, so now we're into late July. You're seeing the conduits start to go into place. The middle one there, we're replumbing and remodeling the bathroom that's in the existing building. Bottom right, or excuse me, bottom left is the ground grid and all the ground rods being placed on that radiator pad on the west side. Same with the right side. You can see the stands are starting to be built for the conduits. Start of the first generator pad started in August. You can see the conduits going into there, and their forms and whatnot going in place, and then you can see the bathroom. It's been replumbed and ready to roll for future. We're into late August, early September. So the existing building needs an outside power source. So as you can see there, our crews did a lot of that work, getting that conduit in to the building, and then the trenching there as well. And bottom right, we finally got some rain in the summer, and we were in panic mode, so we had to get some sandbags because all that water was flowing inside the building there. So we were scrambling to find some sandbags, and luckily we had enough to keep that water away.
Is that the one day we got rain this past summer?
Yes, the one day, Mayor, exactly, and it was quite a bit right there. Yeah, as you can see, we're early September now. The first generator pad's ready for concrete. As you can see, all the rebar in there. That one generator pad is 40 yards of concrete. So there's a lot of concrete in there, and obviously the grade's been compacted, and they have a tester come in and make sure that it's all tested and compacted at the 98% compaction. Top right, started the core holes for a lot of the conduits, and then obviously the bottom right is the second gen pad that's being built there as well. So here's a quick video of them actually pouring the both generator pads with the pump truck. I was amazed how he was able to get that pump truck in there and be able to spider that all the way in. So they poured both them pads in, probably less than 3 or 4 hours.
So is that spaghetti conduit that you and I looked at, is that underneath that concrete?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is. Yeah, there's some slides coming up there
Okay.
that you'll be able to see.
All right.
It's, and I can't remember when you all were there. I can't remember if it was in August.
It was later, it was after our tour that you showed me
Yeah, yeah.
all of
it was
that.
later.
I'm going, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and go to that next slide, right? Yeah, and here's them, getting the pads all done and finishing that concrete on them. As you can see, the conduits are into the pads and stubbed out. Here's the start of the main conduits being installed, end of September on the left side. So those conduits you can see coming out of that concrete wall are actually the ones that are going to go into the substation from the switchgear room right there on the upper, in the middle section. Middle of September, the 4-inch gas stub was installed. So Enbridge was able to get that completed. Next slide. Yeah, radiator and oxy catalyst pad being poured on October 6th off the west side of the building there. After all the conduits, and then the right one's just conduits, and they had to heat a lot of those conduits and get them bent just right for that placement of those to get them around the generator pads and whatnot. These guys, Wasatch Electrics, the electricians that are doing this, and they did a fabulous job. He was kind of, like, don't look at my conduits. They don't look very good. Cause usually they don't have to retrofit a building and do these conduits in there. But as you can see, there's just a sea of conduit. I reached out to Wasatch today. I was just, I was interested to know how much conduit has actually been in there. And he said there was almost 10,000 feet of conduit between different sizes, 6-inch, 4-inch, 3-inch, 2-inch, 1-inch, 3/4. And so I think time we're all said and done, we're gonna have 2 miles of conduit just in that building alone, you know, with our overhead and everything else. So, so that's just showing, you know, the massive amounts of conduits that both the generators are taking and what's needed. And yeah, next slide. So yeah, once conduits were in, the slurry fill was over all the conduits. It was more like a really wet sand, had a little bit of concrete in it. So they slurried all that to a certain level. And then on the right side was the road base. So they compacted that. So it's got a slurry fill, and then the road base is being up to the next level there. Yeah, rebar being installed on the left. We started the reroute of the new sewer line. We put a new sewer line into the building as well. That's in the middle section. And I think Councilman Birch went down in that bottom side right there, but I don't know if you can see that very well, but up on the beams right there, they installed some new beams because on top of that's where that switchgear was going to be in place. So that's what I put there, just to help support that heavy switchgear, and the conduits are all going to be run through that location as well. So, yeah, finishing up sewer line October 30th. The final floors being poured on November 5th. They've actually blocked in 8 of the windows on the building just to help with noise and vibrations and whatnot, so the glass wouldn't hold up as well. But they were old and big windows as well. They were pretty outdated, so we decided to concrete all those in, and then that'll be repainted on the outside as well. So yeah, we're into November. Up the upper left shown here, blocked in one of the 8 windows. You can see what that looks like. And the bottom left is the stand that's installed for the swamp cooler and the oxy catalyst exhaust stack. And then on November 25th is when the big kind of a big move there, bold move I put on there when the generator comes in place. So it arrived on site the 25th, and I think the next slide is it's just showing a couple things that they're actually putting the exhaust and the catalyst in place right there. And onto the right, the generators in the building. I think this next one's that video of them getting that thing inside the building.
Is there just one or is there 2?
There will be 2. Yep, there will be 2. Right where that one's at is where the second one's gonna be. And then further to the west is where this one's in place. So it was a hydraulic unit that had little tiny wheels on it that they could pump up. It was amazing. I was like, how are those little tiny wheels holding up that heavy unit? They were able to get it in there and yeah, put it right in place.
So they get it off.
With cranes. With cranes. Yep. Yeah, they had 2 cranes. They had those big hooks right there on the front and back. They had 2 cranes. They lifted it up. The truck pulled out from underneath it. They set it on these little movers and brought it right in the building. So yeah, right there you can see one of the cranes. Well, 2 of them actually right there. Yep. So yeah, that's the generator in place. They had to place it on. It's on some vibration, called vibration dampeners, but they got those springs on them. So if it, obviously if it gets out of alignment, it'll vibrate. And if it gets too far out, it'll shut it down. So it's got some sensors on there that they're putting in. So it's in place on the left side and the right side of that picture. The middle is the big swamp cooler, the radiator, and the OxyCat exhaust for the unit right there. So all major equipment's in place right now. Next steps, pull wire. The overall project to date is 65 to 70% complete. It's hard to see that, but it's come a long ways. Obviously, it'll be a lot of wire to pull in those conduits and put it and terminated. Our next step is to get the gas line connected, the 4-inch gas line into the building. They still have to plumb all that. And then obviously our main power connection, I've been working on that today, trying to get some pricing and whatnot for that wire to go from the generator, or excuse me, from the switchgear into the substation. If all goes well, we should be able to run power plant summer of 26, which should benefit us with our peaking side. So I put future ready on there. I just thought, well, that's kind of neat because I think with that second one, we're going to be future ready and something that we're looking forward to. And there's still some work to do, obviously, on our side, with our gas hedging and whatnot, and making all that work and working with Enbridge, and we still have to pay a transmission. There's a lot still involved that we have to go through. But we're getting closer. I'm excited about it. So I think completion day, Cat Wheeler is expecting, they're telling me February, but I'm like, I don't know, there's a lot of work to do. So anyway, that's me. But next slide, I just appreciate all you guys. Merry Christmas and thank you for all your support. This is a big project. It's an $8 million project, and
It's exciting.
yep, it's exciting and it's gonna benefit you from.
We should tie a big bow around it.
Yes.
We should.
During Friday's parade.
Right.
We need to go through there.
Right through it.
Put a Santa in the top of the stack.
I was been trying to get him to get that blue tarp off, and I'm like, let's get rid of that blue tarp so we can see the generator, but they don't want to take it off just because they got so much other
Yeah.
work to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you guys are all welcome to come see it anytime. Let me know, come walk through. There's a lot happening in there. The little office space I didn't mention where you are, we're making 2 little office buildings in there. One's gonna be more of a control room and then one just a little office space, and working on framing some of that up. And yeah, welcome to come see it and just give me a call anytime.
Corey, have you worked out any type of a formula that triggers us using this?
So that's a great question. I met with a third-party vendor with gas, and that's the thing that he brought up. What is our strike price gonna be? Do we run it at, let's just say, for instance, okay, market power is $100 a megawatt hour. It's just saying, okay, and we could run this at, we have a strike price at like $50 that we could run that at. Of course, we're gonna run, right?
Right.
But if we get into if we have to run that unit at $70 and market prices are 75, it might not be efficient to run it. So I've been working on some calculations that way, working with Enbridge and the gas vendors to try to figure that out. We're meeting again in, I think, 2 weeks to kind of talk about that, and they're gonna actually look at our load forecast for the next season and see how far off, or excuse me, how short we will be during, July, August, September, and if we really need to run in December too. If markets are high, just like we mentioned, we just need to get that strike price pinned down to where we can run it economically, and it's gonna benefit up for.
Did we go over 10 megawatts this past summer?
With our hydro generation, we did, yes, yep. So just our load alone, that doesn't include our hydros, we were at 99.65.
Okay.
So, and we were short, I can't remember if it was late August, 1st September, almost 4.5 meg. We didn't have enough resources to cover our loads, so we were buying off the market.
But it was fairly cheap.
It was fairly cheap, correct, but if we can hit that strike price and we know when to run, and we'll be able to do that, not remotely, but more or less, let's say we'll know when our strike price is and we'll be able to start that unit when needed. We won't have to go there and, we'll just know, because we'll even know, what our day ahead looks like as well, so.
So do the Enbridge gurus, do they share? Are they gonna share with us some of their forecasts?
Yeah, and that's a good question too, with gas forecasting.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like $4 a decatherm, which is pretty, and for us to run that, we gotta figure out what our variable costs are gonna be. Let's just say we do have it running right now, we would be in the probably $60 range to run that unit. Market prices are about 40 to 50 right now, so, that's. But if we can buy that gas at a lower price coming in the next, if we hedge a year out. And we hedge it at a lower price, and those market prices are high, we'll be able to run it at a.
So they'll let us do that.
They'll let us do that,
Okay.
yes, yep, we'll be able to buy gas for a year,
Okay,
but we need to know how long we're gonna run. And how many days we're gonna run, and how many days out of the month we're gonna run, so.
so how can we model that?
And that's what we're working on as well with UAMs. Once they give us our forecast for next year, next summer, we'll be able to model that a little bit better, because we'll be able to go off of our resources. And then we'll be able to see how short we'll be and how much we can run.
I'm just afraid this summer Lake Powell's gonna go to
I know.
pause.
Yep, yep.
Probably starting in July.
Yeah, yep, so,
I think they'll fall below,
yep.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, if we don't get some more snow and whatnot, Lake Powell's just staying at that level to where it could drastically drop off and not have any generation. And I believe we rely on about 1,500 kW from Lake Powell during the summer. So, it's a cheap resource, it's hydro, so, it's something we need to model and look into, and, we're working on that. We're gonna do our best to make what's right for Ephraim, and, so we're not in that $200, market price range. Hopefully it never gets there again.
3 years ago this month.
Yes, it did, exactly, yep. Yep, if we would have this generator and gas spot at a good price, obviously that would help us, but, yeah. That was our big, thing to move this forward, so. Yep, that's all I have, so, okay, thank you.
Corey,
Thanks, Corey, for everything. Moving on to item 3, consent items. 3A, ratification of warrant register between November 15th, 2025 and November 26th, 2025. And B, approval of November 18th, 2025 election canvass minutes and November 19th, 2025 city council meeting minutes. Council members, do you have any questions with regard to those things? The warrant register in the minutes? Looking for a motion?
I move that we approve the consent items.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Burt, second by Councilmember Beal, all in favor.
Yes.
yes,
It's unanimous. Moving on to item 4, action agenda, Ephraim City Resolution 2526 FY 2526 budget amendment. John.
Yeah, so just looking for a motion on this. Your options are accept the budget amendments as shown earlier, modify them or reject them, so. Just looking for that unless there's any questions before.
No questions. Council members looking for a motion?
I motion that we approve ECR from City Resolution 2526 fiscal year 2526 budget amendment.
Motion made by Councilmember Beal,
Second.
second by Councilmember Nordfeld, all in favor.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Moving now to council reports, we're going to start with Councilmember Birch.
So I have been spending some time with the ambulance committee and working with them. And one of the things I've just been most impressed with is their concern for the community, not only for the service that they do medically in emergencies, but they also take time to try to find ways to reach out and help the community in other ways, like Sub for Santas and some of the other things. And so we're really blessed to have those resources that we do. And then just a personal thank you for those of you who this is your last city council meeting. Thank you for the opportunity to work with you and for the years of service that you've given. Sure appreciate your efforts to make Ephraim a great place to live.
Thank you. Councilmember Bill.
Yeah, library is good. Rap tax is next week. And I don't know, Kimber, Tanner, do you guys want to say something real quick? We have two awesome youth city council people. Do you want to give us any update, what you guys did Monday? Do you mind? You might need to come up and just give us a quick little. Tanner, you can go too. Yeah, you're good.
He's going.
Okay. Just Kimber.
We decorated a float for the light parade on Friday, which we will be a part of, and then we decorated the Christmas tree upstairs in City Hall.
You're feeling the spirit. huh?
Absolutely.
I bet you guys will be doing some letter.
Oh,
Yes.
interesting letters.
We will be doing Santa letters on Friday. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Anderson.
Well, I did attend a historical board meeting. And if you can hear the sound of choo choo in the background, it's being railroaded into that committee. That's the train you can hear in the background. So anyway, I
You're
don't,
being railroaded into the committee? Is that what you're saying?
yeah. It's a bittersweet night for me, and I just have to tell you that I have told everyone that I spoke to do the last motion to close the meeting. That'll be the final hurrah, so don't try and beat me to it.
I've got it written right on the agenda. Not there.
But it has been a pleasure for me to be here, and it is very bittersweet for me. I didn't realize how bittersweet it would be. But I'll notice being gone, but I'll get onto YouTube. So thank you for the opportunities that I've had.
Councilmember Norfelt.
We will notice you being gone as well. The new Scandinavian Festival Board met and they were all there except for one, I think, and had a good meeting. So that's gonna be good. And then Friday, we got the light show, light parade, and then the lighting of the park, and then the light show, the drone light show. So encourage everybody to be doing that. I guess we have things set up for the light parade.
Yes, I'm going to talk about it.
Okay, that's part of your report. That's all of my report.
All right, thank you. Ephraim City Christmas celebration is this coming Friday. We'll have a parade at 6:30. The lighting of the Pioneer Park will be at 6. And they tell me, and Corey, you can confirm this, that it's going to be a dazzling wonder. Millions.
Bring your sunglasses.
Bring your sunglasses.
You've all seen the Christmas show that has the house that lights up, and it's going to be more dazzling than that. And so a drone show will be at 6. We will be, as a council, participating in the parade. So let's meet at 5:45 at just right across the street from the dental clinic. And we're probably gonna go in my Equinox. We'll put some lights on it, and we may have my grandchildren in there too, because they love that. Katie and I did table talk. Are we doing candy? Are we throwing out candy at this?
Probably not in the dark. I don't think we have.
Isn't this the one we throw out candy?
Yes, Mayor. No, I'm gonna get candy. It's lately, but.
We used to just buy the candy canes, I think, for Santa to give.
No, Tyler got boxes and boxes of,
For Christmas.
oh, yeah,
That.
yeah.
We didn't throw candy last Christmas.
I know we did. It was such a, and we got chastised.
Yes,
Margie felt particularly vulnerable.
Well, especially in the one in the summer, the skin.
Table talk, Katie and I did table talk this morning. We went over a lot, most of the things that I'm gonna go over tonight. We talked about with table talk. 750 South is finished. Go drive up and down it. That's a lot of fun. Blaine and I have done that, and UDOT has approved of a light at 700 North. We've made applications for that 3 times in the last 6 years. This is the 4th time, and they finally said we wore them down, right, Brad? We wore them down. And so that will be installed. We still have some things to do. Some right-of-way acquisition to make, but it could be installed this coming summer. And so that'll be a great thing, be good. It's a safety issue, that intersection is a real safety issue. Cars need to be off the road. Our police department sent out the announcements today. We have ordinances that cars, everything, all vehicles need to be off the road for snow removal. And so that is an important thing to get started. We haven't seen any snow until the last 4 or 5 days. And so that's going to become more and more of an issue. Temple construction is complete. The furniture and equipment is now being loaded into the temple. I was there at 8:15 yesterday morning. And big old semi, big old Allied semi, they were trying to pull in there and having a little bit of a hard time doing it. The work on the spring piping system up at Ephraim Canyon, I was up there on Saturday and looked at it. A lot of digging has happened, a lot of prep work. We do have a problem with the piping and the PSI. They don't make piping that is for potable water with that kind of PSI. And so we're going to have to coat it with, it's not Varathane, it's epoxy. That's what it is. And so we have to do that. The contractor has to do that on his own, right?
We're working through that right now, so that'll be part of the project. We're gonna adjust the scope to make sure we stay within budget.
Several of us, Lloyd and I and Margie, attended the ribbon cutting and opening ceremony of the Revere Health Gunnison Valley Instacare Clinic. I talked with Dr. Judy. We took a tour of the clinic. Part of it is the clinic, part of it is Snow College Health and Wellness Center. And Snow College has needed that a lot. So that's the one wing. The other wing is Dr. Judy, and he is operating with 2 PAs there. And their office hours are from 10 a.m. to 8 o'clock in the evening. And that's a great addition to Ephraim City. Katie and I met with the Ferguson group today. There's some traction with Congress and doing, we normally refer to omnibus bills, which are huge and understandable, over 1,000 pages long. There's some traction with doing what they're calling minibus. And that is breaking down each budget item. There are about, I think, 11 of them. And they're going to pass, they hope to pass 5 of those before December 18th. And that'll be good because part of those 5 are the earmark bills. And the problem is that the House is in session and the Senate isn't in session. And then the Senate's in session and the House is not in session. And so, yeah, and so it's a little bit of a complication, but we'll see. I think that's progress, and I think it'll be good. Snow College Community Council, Katie and I also attended that on Tuesday. And that was a sweet meeting. That's where all of the community leaders throughout Sanpete County attend this community council. The only city that attends it is Ephraim City, and with Katie and I. And so that was we have breakfast, we talked about challenges, and the number one challenge that Snow College is a little concerned about is the missionary age change for women. And they're a little nervous. I mean, when we did this with men and the age change happened, our enrollment at Snow College dropped 300 students. And so we hope that it is not that big of an impact. They're looking at some ways to get around that and to augment the recruiting that they're doing, but they're concerned. December 17th, Christmas party for the council at my house, for council and that'll be at 6 p.m. And I think I've sent you all food assignments. And so we're excited about that. And then again, parade Friday at 5:45. No, wait a minute, I need to change that. I will be doing the lighting ceremony at 6. So let's meet at 6:15. Across the street from the dental office. And that's all I have, Katie.
I think you covered almost everything. The one thing, which I don't mind, believe me. One thing I do want to remind everybody that starting in January, council will start at 7 p.m. So we will get information out on that and the swearing in ceremony as well. Right? That's it, Mayor.
There's one thing that I forgot to mention. Thank you to the staff. I couldn't have done what we've done in the last 6.5 years without each one of you. And particularly thank you. Lloyd had to leave, he was getting sick. But particularly thank you to the council members. Margie and I have been at this for a long time.
But I have to say, we've had a lot of fun in between here too. And, you know, some of councils have come and gone and we had some good experiences with those folks too. So I'm just really appreciative of the experience.
Yeah. And we're excited for you new council members. Mayor Larson, Mayor-elect Larson, we're excited for you. You're gonna have fun. This is a good staff. And Troy and Dennis and Anthony are good council members. They've learned quickly. And so we wish you the best of luck. Looking for a motion to adjourn our city council meeting. And the only one who can make that is Margie.
I make the motion that we adjourn the city council meeting for December 3rd, 2025.
Motion made by Councilmember Anderson.
Before I second, I just want to.
Oh.
Love you guys and appreciate all you've done, and I second it.
Motion made by Councilmember Anderson, second by Councilmember Nordfeld, all in favor.
Yes.
Now, do I do a park deal down here? He's gonna make me do it.
would like to see that.
Oh, yes, that's what I need to do.